Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I thought it would be a good time to let everyone know about the 40th anniversary of Macross. I am looking forward to a grand celebration. Finally, Harmony Gold, Studio New, and Big West have settled their legal battle with international distribution and copyright. Now there should be a flood of movies and merchandise heading its way over here. For those of you that are not familiar with Macross, this series is one of the big two of mecha anime in Japan, the other being Mobile Suit Gundam. In order to catch you up on this series, a little history is in order. Robotech. This was my first introduction to the Macross universe back in 1985, as was most of America's. The show amazed me as a young lad. It had giant robots fighting giant aliens, a ship with a huge main cannon. It had beautiful girls, an idol singer, a love triangle, and was different in my eyes to any of the Western animation that I had seen up to that point. This was a show that didn't talk down to you, and showed that even main characters could die. Right, Roy? Right, Ben? Robotech was an amalgam of 3 different anime shows: Super Dimension Fortress Macross, Super Dimension Cavalry Southern Cross, and Genesis Climber Mospeada. These shows were edited together with storylines changed by Carl Masek to make one large, cohesive story. It ran for 85 episodes and wrapped up the same year it was released. Robotech had its merchandise to sell at the time, like comics from Comico, which did an adaptation of the TV show, toys from Revell, and action figures from Matchbox. As you can see, there is some merchandise that I was able to buy at conventions and online, as it was not available in mainstream stores, while there were things like novels I could get at bookstores. With Robotech over, we had to wait until 1992 for Macross 2 and 1994 for Macross Plus. After that, there was nothing brought over, and America missed out on so much Macross goodness. Meanwhile, Japan thrived and kept bringing out series after series and getting cool merchandise like transforming mecha toys, music CDs, video games, manga, and live concerts. The original Macross show that Robotech was adapted from debuted in 1982 and was spearheaded by Studio New and Big West. This was the start of the adventure. An alien spaceship crashes to Earth in 1999. This interrupts a global war going on at the time as mankind realizes they are not alone in the universe. The entire world bands together and rebuilds the ship as they predict that whoever sent it might come looking for it. And the Zentradi do come looking for it, and that is where the war between the humans and Zentradi begin. We meet our main characters Hikaru, Minmay, and Misa. The elements that make up a Macross story started here, with a love triangle, an idol singer, excellent music, mecha, and fighting against aliens. The Macross series ran for 26 episodes initially, but because it was so popular, the fans demanded more, and the studio put out 10 more episodes to wrap it all up. What came after that, you ask? There was a theatrical movie released in 1984 called Macross Do You Remember Love? This recaps the TV series and is the jumping off point for more of the sequels. If you don't want to watch all the episodes of the original, then this would be the movie to watch, as it is very good. In 1987, Macross Flashback 2012 was released and was a music video of sorts, with unused scenes from the Macross series and movie. It is only about half an hour long, but is well worth a watch, if only to see our favorite characters Hikaru, Misa, and Minmay leaving Earth for the center of the galaxy. 1992 was Macross' 10th anniversary, and a show called Macross 2 was put out. It had no involvement with Studio New and was not as well received as its predecessors. It didn't have any of our favorite characters, and when Minmay is shown, it does not even look like her or have any of her famous music. The only thing the same is the Macross ship itself. So although it is out there, Studio New considers it taking place in a parallel universe with alternate continuity. I would recommend watching the subtitled version as well. 2 years later, Macross Plus was released as an OVA. Now this was a hit. It had everything a Macross show should have. An idol, a love triangle, giant mecha, Zentradi, a main character dying, great music. It had it all. They even got Bryan Cranston to voice one of the main characters in the dub. Each episode is 45 minutes long and there is only 4 of them, so it's a very nice short series to enjoy. There's also a Macross Plus movie that runs almost 2 hours long. Definitely watch that if you can. Later that year, a new TV series called Macross 7 was released. It was a true sequel as it had characters from the Do You Remember Love movie. Max Genius, who is the captain of the Macross 7, his wife Miria Genius, is the mayor of City 7, and Exodor, who is his advisor on the Macross 7. They are on an expedition to find more habitable worlds for their emigration fleet. The antagonists this time around are called the Proto-Devlin, who absorb human living spirit as sustenance. The idol singer this time is actually a band called Firebomber, with the main character being Neki Basra. The rest of the band is made up of Melaine Genus, the daughter of Captain Max and Mare Myria, Ray Lovelock, a former soldier, and Vefidus, a retired Zentradi warrior. The love triangle this time is very subtle. It's between Basra, Melaine, and Gamelin, who is a pilot in the military. There is a twist to this series, as Basra thinks that the power of song will stop the enemies, and he flies out into the battles and generally gets in the military's way. It runs for 49 episodes and has 3 OVAs. The music is good, but it's TV-grade animation, just so you know what to expect. In 1995, there was a convention I attended called Robocon 10, and it was to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Robotech. It was held at the Grand Hotel in Anaheim, California. The organizers managed to gather up all the voice actors, music composers, and writers. From what I can remember, there were lots of guest panels, a meet and greet dinner, a live concert by Reba West, who was the voice of Lin Minmay, and a substantial dealer's room for all your Robotech and Macross merchandise. For the 20th anniversary in 2002, an OVA prequel series to the original was put out called Macross Zero. It's only 5 episodes long and takes place 1 year before the events of SDF Macross. Roy Fokker makes an appearance. Our main character Shin gets shot down and crash lands on an island where he meets the local inhabitants who have a connection to the alien ship that had crashed on the Earth back in 1999. For me, it's an average watch, nothing spectacular, just a mediocre series. The next series, and the one that I consider the best out of them all, was released in 2007 and is a sequel to Macross 7. It was titled Macross Frontier and tied into the 25th anniversary of the franchise. This was the story of the 25th Emigration Fleet, once again looking for planets to live on. The characters we meet are a guy named Saotomi Alto, who is not in the military but wants to fly in a real sky instead of in an artificial one. We have an established idol singer, Cheryl Nome, who comes to the Frontier Fleet for a concert. And we have the up-and-coming shy singer, Ranka Lee, who is much more than she seems at the beginning. The show really pays homage to the original, and I've noticed some of the same scene setups as before, which were really well done. The story is well written, the animation is top-notch, and the music is fantastic. It has all the Macross traits, a love triangle, the backdrop of war with aliens, idol singers, Zentradi, and a main character dying. It's only 26 episodes, and each one really fleshes out the characters and has callbacks to the previous Macross series, which is nice to see as it ties them together. For example, some of the characters listen to idols or music from the previous series. The last TV series was Macross Delta. It was a sequel to Frontier. 8 years after the events of that series, in a faraway area of the galaxy, there is a plague called the VAR syndrome that makes people go crazy, and it is infesting this area. An idol group called Walkyrie, consisting of 5 girls, is what seems to stop this madness with their songs. The Windermere Kingdom is using this to their advantage to make war with the world government for control of the star system they're in. The series has the trademarks of Macross, a love triangle between Hayate, Freya, and Mirage. This series just does not do it for me, as it falls short of being better than Frontier. To date, that is all the animated series. I expect there to be some new ones coming out soon, and hopefully they will be released in time for the celebration, as this is the perfect time to get people tuned in to such an iconic series. So which was your favorite series? Or if you have not seen it before, are you going to try it out? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe.